You've had the conversation with yourself 100 times. You've cried about it alone in the car. You've made the decision maybe more than once. And yet here you are, still there, still hoping, still finding reasons to stay. And every morning you wake up next to a situation that's hurting you. A small piece of you wonders, what is wrong with me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing is wrong with you. But something very specific is happening in your brain. And once you understand it, the self-blame stops. Let's talk about it. The inability to leave a relationship you know isn't working is one of the most misunderstood experiences in human psychology. People on the outside say, just leave, as if it's simple. It isn't. There are powerful psychological forces at work. Not excuses, not weakness, but real, documented, neurological and emotional mechanisms that make leaving feel physically impossible. Understanding them is the first step to breaking free. The sunk cost trap. I've given too much to walk away now. 5 years, maybe 10, or maybe just 18 months that felt like a lifetime because of the intensity. Whatever the number, you've invested deeply. Your time, your love, your patience, your forgiveness, your compromises, your identity. And your brain keeps running the same calculation. If I leave now, all of that was for nothing. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. And it is one of the most powerful psychological traps known to behavioral science. It's the same reason people stay in jobs they hate, finish movies they're not enjoying, and keep throwing money at failing businesses, because the brain is wired to protect prior investments. Even when the honest math says those investments are already gone. Here's the truth that your brain doesn't want to accept. The time you've spent is gone regardless of what you decide next. Leaving doesn't erase it. Staying doesn't redeem it. The only question that actually matters is this. If you had to start from today, knowing everything you know now, would you choose this relationship? If the answer is no, you're not staying out of love. You're staying out of the exhausting logic of not wanting to have wasted something you can't get back. And that's a terrible reason to spend the rest of your future in the wrong place. But when it's good, it's so good. The trap of the highs. Here's what makes toxic relationships so disorienting. They're not always bad. If they were always bad, leaving would be straightforward. But they alternate. Painful lows followed by incredible highs. Fights followed by apologies that feel like the person you fell in love with finally came back. Coldness followed by warmth, so intense it makes you forget the cold ever happened. This isn't accidental, and it isn't just the natural ebb and flow of relationships. Psychologists call it intermittent reinforcement, and it's the same principle that makes gambling addictive. When rewards are unpredictable, when you never know if the next interaction will bring pain or warmth, your brain doesn't disengage. It doubles down. It becomes hypervigilant, hyperattached, constantly hoping. The The good moments don't just feel good, they feel like relief. And relief after pain produces more dopamine than consistent happiness ever could. So your brain isn't just attached to this person, it's addicted to the cycle. Leaving doesn't just mean losing them. It means losing the highs that made all the lows feel worth surviving. That's why it's so hard. That's why it feels like withdrawal when you try to go. Because neurologically, it is. Who even am I without this? When the relationship becomes your identity, at some point, gradually, almost invisibly, you stopped being a person who was in a relationship and became a person whose entire identity was the relationship. Your schedule revolved around them. Your friendships thinned out because you were always with them or thinking about them. Your interests faded. Your plans became their plans. And now, standing at the edge of leaving, you look into the space where your life without them would be, and you see nothing. Not freedom, not relief, nothing. This is called enmeshment. And it happens slowly enough that most people don't notice it until they're trying to leave and realize they don't know who they'd be going back to. The idea of leaving doesn't just trigger the fear of losing them. It triggers an existential crisis about losing yourself. And that terrifies people back into staying. But here's what matters. The person you were before this relationship still exists inside you. They didn't disappear. They went quiet. And the life you'll build without this relationship will not be empty. It will be the beginning of meeting yourself again. That person has been waiting. The hope that won't die. I know who they can be. You're not staying with the person they are. You're staying with the person you believe they could be. The one they were in the beginning. Or the one they are on their best days. Or the one they promise to become every time things fall apart. And that version of them, that version is real enough to feel worth staying for. Psychologists call this potential addiction, the state of being bonded not to who someone consistently is, but to who you've glimpsed them being, or who you've been promised they're becoming. It's devastating because the hope is genuine. You're not delusional. You did see that version of them. They do exist sometimes. But a person who is consistently inconsistent is showing you their truth. And their truth is the average of how they treat you across time, not the highlight reel you're holding onto. The question isn't whether they can change. The question is whether they are changing right now, consistently, without you having to ask, manage, or wait. If the answer is no, the hope you're holding isn't saving the relationship. It's just making it harder to leave. If you're still there when you know you should go, you're not weak. You're not stupid. And there is nothing wrong with you. You're caught in one of the most psychologically complex situations a person can face. The sunk cost of invested years, the neurological addiction of the highs, the identity crisis of not knowing who you'd be without it, and the hope of someone who could be different. These aren't excuses. They're the actual forces working against your decision to leave. And naming them, understanding them, is how you begin to loosen their grip. You don't have to leave today, but you do need to stop calling it love when it's costing you yourself. The life waiting for you on the other side of this decision is not empty. It is yours, and you deserve to finally live it.